Assalamualaikum participants. Before we begin, just a few announcements. एक आपके group के अंदर link आया होगा Microsoft Forms का. This is for feedback on the face-to-face week that you've just had. Please make sure that you do complete it and that you do submit it. You have time even afterwards. The form is going to stay live for the rest of the day, but just wanted to share that the link is in your WhatsApp group. The other announcement was when we start handing out the certificates, please make sure कि आप जो available routes हैं उनके through आ रहे हो. Mustafa, maybe you can indicate from where you are because you're in the right spot right now. Okay, good. So we're good on the path that we will take. Okay. Can I ask, do we know if everyone is back and seated? Looks like it, right? Great. So I will request Ali Shahzad Saab as well as Ma'am Fazilat, if you can maybe join us on the head table so we can begin. Great. So with that, I think we can formally begin. I think first of all, let's start off by giving ourselves a round of applause for your efforts, for your stamina these last 5 days. I know that you had very long days from 9 to 5 and maybe even afterwards because you had your assignments. But I think it's been a very wonderful week for all of us. We've learned a lot from your experiences, and I'm sure you've learned a lot from one another's experiences as well. And thank you also to our facilitators who've been around and making sure that we pose certain questions that will hopefully keep you thinking for some time in the future. I see that Franz is also here, so maybe we'll also request Franz to join us in the front, and then we'll formally begin in a minute or two. Great. So one more time, thank you everyone for being here and for taking the time out from amongst our guests as well, for being with us today. I wanted to start off the proceedings by inviting some of our participants to share their experiences very briefly and also to maybe share one key takeaway that they have from not just these last 5 days, but from the entire 2 months and a few more days that they've been working on this course. So I would like to start off by inviting Mr. Masroor Hassan from PND Sin. And I would also, while he's making his way here, like to acknowledge that he's been very helpful for us when we requested for nominations from Sindh for this course. He was the key point of contact for me, and he's been super helpful in not only indicating interest but also being a part of the entire course. Please, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. Well, my name is Raja Masroor Hassan, and I work as Chief Sustainable Development Goals in Planning and Development Department. Since this is a very formal event, so I will take a little help from my notes so that I stay on the points and with the time frame. The quality of the content of the training was amazing. This is my first point. Practical and theoretical knowledge of the facilitators was mind-boggling and amazing. Third, the training was completely structured. It was well organized and very well structured. Fourth, the digital command and digital grip of the trainers, facilitators, and the organizers during the online sessions and during the face-to-face sessions was also very impressive and very helpful. Fourth, the reciprocity, interaction, and complete participation of the participants in the process of training was also very good and very encouraging and helpful. Fourthly, the whole training session, including the online training, was full of fun. We had amazing and interesting time. The hospitality part was great, and I'm completely satisfied and I'm going happy after receiving such warm hospitality by the organizers. I would like to come back for such other trainings, and first I would like to come back for another training, and I would like to continue engaging with Sustainable Development Institute, with Oxford Policy Management, with GIZ. So my engagement will remain. I mean, in future, in times to come. Secondly, on behalf of the P&D Department, Government of Sindh, I thank all these three prestigious institutions for this amazing opportunity of learning, networking, and coupled with warm hospitality. And in the end, I just want to mention the two persons who have been very supportive, very encouraging, and one is Miss Maheen, who has been wonderful help in organizing and in coordinating with us. And I will also mention the name of Hassan Murtaza, who has been very kind, very supportive, and we have been, इनको हमने तंग भी बहुत किया. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. Love.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Faryal Amin from the Social Welfare and Baitul Mal Department, Bahawalpur, to share a few words about her experience over the last 2 months.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm feeling very acknowledged and very happy to be here, to be part of this team. And it gave in-depth knowledge about social protection along with different modalities, like how to target the criteria of beneficiaries, data registry, grievances redressal mechanism. And the very interesting thing it was when we will discuss about the case studies and case histories, the coordination among line departments and also their services, integration for the vulnerable and poor segment of society. In a nutshell, I would acknowledge social protection department, GIZ, that they have pooled all the departments across the Pakistan. It's their, great achievement. In under one roof, we all are here and exchanging our experiences. It's very interesting for me. Otherwise, we all came and attend trainings from one specific province. It's a source of learning and interaction for me to engage myself with other departments, with other provinces. So the overall program and the course was very interactive. And if I discuss about in context of social protection course, from what the concept of social protection is and its significance in Pakistan and around the globe, where we are standing and what are our lags. And also the interesting thing which that was the use of Aspire. As I am layperson, I belongs to my department is totally changed. The targeting process, conditionality, and outreach, all the steps were very interesting for me. Thank you.
Thank you. I would now like to invite Mr. Salman Rafi from the Social Protection Delivery Unit at the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety. And I would also like to acknowledge the role that the ministry has played in making this course possible for us. Please, sir.
Assalamu alaikum ji. My name is Salman Rafi and I am Social Protection Specialist in Ministry of Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety. Firstly, I would like to pay my thanks and gratitude to GIZ, SDPI, and OPM for their excellent efforts in successfully organizing the blended learning format, the virtual course, and Zoom clinics regarding social protection. And I also express my appreciation to the speakers for their valuable and priceless contributions. I'm very happy that during these 4 days, the course had added valuable value to my expertise regarding social protection. I have learned, rather clarified my concepts regarding social protection, including coordination, integrated data management, indicators of social protection, and adaptive social protection. These learning will help us in performing our duties in more efficient and effective manner. I also hope that contexts that have been developed here will continue in the future, as I consider these among the main takeaways. Lastly, I feel with many others that this course is very useful and should be continued in its future as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Continuing with reflections from our participants, who, by the way, in this round, they represented all of Pakistan. So we had participants from Punjab, from KP, from Gilgit-Baltistan, from Balochistan, from Sindh. Who else have I missed? Oh, and Azad Jammu and Kashmir. So next, I would actually like to invite Ms. Nasreen Akhtar from the Social Welfare Department in Azad Jammu and Kashmir. I've had the pleasure of working with her on several other trainings as well. So I was very happy to see her here. But and I hope that she can also share some of her experience from this training. Please.
Assalamu alaikum. This is Nasreen Akhtar from Social Welfare Department, Government of AJK. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. Social protection is not a one-day process to learn, but we are lucky that at least we have started working on it, like social protection. During this training, we have learned a lot, especially definition of social protection, as there are so many definitions of social protection, instruments used, especially implementation mechanism and other coordination mechanisms, and like data interpretation. We are lucky that we have grabbed this opportunity to learn in this wonderful training. We have learned from face-to-face session and online sessions. And I must appreciate sequence of training modules like 1, 2, 3, and 4, support and guideline from our supporters, our mentors, our speakers, and all other team who are involved in this training. And I especially, as Ms. Mahin said, that you must share one takeaway. The takeaway that I have learned this whole training session is that integration of social protection initiatives is very important. We have so many work in silos, but there is no coordination in that mechanism and that initiative, so we don't have output of these interventions. And in the last, I'm very thankful to GIZ, OPM, and whole team of the organizers of this whole workshop. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Shadia Begum from the Social Welfare Department in Gilgit-Baltistan to share a few words.
Hello to everyone. I'm representing Gilgit-Baltistan, and I'm Shadia Rumi, and also on behalf of Mr. Idris, who is representing here Planning and Development Department, JB. We are very thankful to GIZ, OPM and SDPI who have provided us such wonderful opportunity, and especially accommodation they provided us because whenever we came to Islamabad, first we face such issue of accommodation. This time you have provided a wonderful accommodation with food for us. Thank you so much. After that, I learned a lot, and first time, because in our department, in government department, it is very difficult for us to learn or study such courses or training, and so much focus training. And I learned a lot in these 3 months. I came to know about the social protection programs, different programs of social protection, especially for me. Social assistance was very interesting for me. I learned a lot, and I came to know how what is my weaknesses when I run a program. I came to know step by step things, how to register, how to plan a program, and what are the steps we should follow. For that, we need to follow all the steps: registration, outreach, and all these things. Or lastly, the face-to-face program was very good for us, and we learned a lot. I came to know that how the other provinces are working and how we can follow them, how we can work with coordination with other departments, and we are expecting in future also your coordination, because in Gilgit-Baltistan, especially here, I felt that there are no in every department we are following manual system, and there we need things on IMS system or whatever like this. So we will need your support for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And then last but not the least, I would like to invite Jamila Freedy Saab to share a few words. He's from the Zakat and Ushur department in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Good afternoon, and I welcome all the special guests and the participants. I won't repeat the same as our colleague has said. We have the same feeling as well. But being representing Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Zakat Ushur Social Welfare Department as an Assistant Director IT, I would like to talk about a little bit regarding digitization, what we learned from the face-to-face session. It was quite interestingly, like we had the data management integration concept very well, and the data sharing benefits were the key point which we shared not only regarding the participant amongst with each other, but when going back to our work, we will emphasize more on it, like the integration of the data is need of the day. And it is because that with the integration, we can know each our strength, and at the end, we are here for the social protection for our poor society of our segment. So if we help them regarding this, this is like our main responsibility. And certainly, the graduation mechanism also was quite interesting from you, Dr. Easter. Thank you for that. And the different databases you showed us through the organization, that would help us, inshallah, in making the decision policies in future. And last but not the least, the use of artificial intelligence was quite interestingly. I would like to give an example, like we manually did this thing, like we are running our MIS, Zakat MIS from last 3 years. So from the 2-year experiences, we gain like we are giving 30,000 rupees in a marriage assistance program to a woman who is poor, who cannot fulfill their requirement regarding their marriage. So what data we collected, we put just one simple question that we were asking a family or a household that how much adult daughters unmarried are with you. So there was option for 1, 2, and 3. So we got like 74,000 household members who were having 3 or more than that daughter who were adult and waiting for their marriages. And we were giving like the marriage assistant maximum to 14,000 all over the KP. So we already were having those household who were having 3 daughters adult, and those were in 74,000 in number. So we then put this thing towards the council, and according to this findings, this planning, they agree with us that we will just now onward give marriage assistance to those household who have 3 or more than 3 daughters in their homes. So if this artificial intelligence was there, it would be quite easy and to make more decision like this in future as well. In last, thank you OPM, especially Ma'am Mahim, for your professional behavior with us, and GIZ for sponsoring. Thank you so much. Looking forward.
Thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your reflections. We'll move on to the next part now, which is reflections from key partners. Now, I'd like to acknowledge Punjab Social Protection Authority, KPPP, and SPRU, as well as MOPAS. They've been very key partners for us in making this course possible. And it's not just, that they've been a part of the implementation of the course, but even when we were at the designing stage, we were in close coordination with these counterparts, making sure that we are pinning the correct or the required topics into the course. And so at each stage, we made sure that they represent the needs that are emerging from their respective work or areas of work, and that we try to incorporate that as much as possible into the course content. So to start with, I would like to invite Mr. Ali Shahzad, who's the CEO of PSPA, to share a few words and share a few reflections. He was also, I should mention, an observer throughout this second round of the course, so he has some first-hand information to share as well. Please, sir.
Thank you very much. I hope I'm audible. Is this working? I hope so. Okay. So thank you very much, Maheen. It's a pleasure to be here and see the culmination of a long and I would say hard-earned course on part of the participants who have worked very hard. I say that with confidence because, like you mentioned, I was a part of the course as initially as participant, but later as observer. So let me start off by thanking the German Ministry of Economic Cooperation and Development, on whose behalf GIZ funded this course, and then OPM for managing this course, and SDPI for delivering it. And of course, it was jointly delivered by OPM. I'm also grateful to all the departments and organizations who spared their HR for this very, I would say, strenuous and exacting training. It is because these are important resources who are supposed to do their work for which they're hired. And it's not, the culture usually is not very conducive to spare people for capacity building. So whoever did that, I'm grateful to them. And of course, we are grateful to Maheen, you, for your personal presence and personal efforts, to Laura, Hassan Saab, who was in touch with us consistently, and everybody else on the teams which we may not know of. So with that preamble, I would delve into a few thoughts about the course itself. So the course ticked all the right boxes. The course was excellent in terms of the contents. It was excellent in terms of its structure. It was excellent in terms of the online support that it provided. And I say that because I used the course myself, I used the interface myself, and the resource persons were excellent. All the local and international resources. Welcome, madam, please. So the course was excellent. Like I said, it ticked all the right boxes. But what I was impressed most with was that the participants come from a diverse set of backgrounds, and to keep them intellectually stimulated and to keep their interest intact is very hard for if you don't have sort of a selection process from which everybody is entering a cohort with the same level of expertise. It is both a challenge and an opportunity, but I think the managers of this course, they handled this challenge very well and converted into an opportunity. And it becomes an opportunity. Why? Because then you have differential levels of learning within the cohort, and then there is a cross fertilization of ideas and cross fertilization and cross, I would say, transfer of expertise from those participants who know more to those participants who know less. And at the same time, because they are bringing in experiences from different backgrounds, and everybody is coming in with the historical lens of how they have how they have seen the social protection work in their own domain. So you come up with a lot of diverse opinions, which are hard to synthesize, but then that's where the essence of such training lies. Otherwise, we could have all sat home and used the online contents only. So it is the interactiveness of this course that makes it stand apart from the rest of the one-way courses, I would say. Another thing which I would like to comment upon is the fact that although the course touches upon some very basic concepts as well, but I think it's essential to do that, because one, it is a refresher for those people who have been practicing social protection for a very long time. But the more you get your hands dirty with the stuff, practical stuff, the lesser you are connected to the theoretical underpinnings of why you were doing it. So it's really good to once in a while go back and refer to the foundations of, or the genesis of the work that you are doing, and to understand where it came from and where you want to go with that domain. And it's always good to revisit. So the course was also good in that context. And once again, I feel really bad that I had to sort of drop out. I was there as an observer, but I could not go through the entire learning exercise myself, which I believe would have been very productive for somebody like me as well, despite the fact that we deal with the social protection related issues and challenges on a day-to-day basis. But it's always good to contemplate those questions and those scenarios in an academic environment where you are not burdened by the pressure of decisions, and you can just process the possibilities with an open mind. But I'm glad that 3 of the participants of this course were from Punjab Social Protection Authority. And likewise, I hope that all the people who were here, they're sort of candles who would go back to their own organizations and add values and kindle more candles back in their own organizations. Towards the end, I would want to talk about the domain of social protection in itself. So we are going through turbulent times, the world itself, the global trends, climate change, crises, geopolitical crises. We had one in Ukraine a few months or a year ago. We have had one recently in Palestine. So these are the kind of occurrences which differ in scale and they differ in severity, but they're going on much more frequently perhaps than they were maybe 25, 30 years ago. So within that context, the domain of social protection becomes much, much more relevant and much more, I would say, essential to how the governments all around the globe need to manage their vulnerable people. whether the social protection is shock responsive, whether it is adaptive. So we can have, a host of discussions about all this, but nobody can deny that in these turbulent times, social protection's significance cannot be overstated. So it is in the fitness of things that we are having this course, and we had this course, and we are hoping to continue having to arrange this course about which I'll talk about just in a minute. The other two things was that, we have had a lot of talk on adaptive social protection, and also the fact what was really heartening to see in the comments of the participants just now was that all the participants are now realizing the importance of data. So data is the future. And, our dear colleague from KP just mentioned that, he said that it was AI that, told them from the analysis that there are households with 3 or more unmarried adult daughters. So AI is maybe, even a step further. A basic quantitative analysis, a basic data analysis should have revealed these insights, which leads to, more informed, more, I would say, empathetic policy decisions. But since we have data, usually it is in the form of either initially it was in the manual data in registers, which could not be analyzed, digitizing the data. And so the first, I would say, the first wave of this transformation was the conversion or digitization of the data itself. And then in the second wave, we must now opt for data analysis. Some of our organizations are a little ahead. They have transitioned from just data analysis to, more informed artificial intelligence based decisions. But at the same time, data analysis is an essential part of the social protection domain. And I'm glad that we touched upon that in this course. And I'm hopeful that whoever goes back, they would be able to sensitize their own organizations about the importance of having data, one, and then analyzing that data to inform their policy making, their policies, secondly. Lastly, I would again like to extend my thanks to the German Development Corporation, GIZ, OPM, SDPI, everybody else. And I would also, I'm already in discussions with the GIZ representatives about the sustainability of this course. And we will make sure, I assure you, we will make sure that this course is continued, this momentum that we have developed continues to deliver the kind of expertise and build the capacities of the local social protection practitioners all across Pakistan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Fazila Jahan, who's the Chief Social Protection and Gender Mainstreaming Unit within the KPPP and SPRU. Again, she's also one of our participants for this course. And I must say, over the last 2 months, she's also someone that I've started looking up to quite a lot. So please, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, Maheen, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to represent KP government. I want to first congratulate and extend my gratitude to GIZ and SDPI and OPM for arranging such a successful and wonderful course on social protection. It is an immense pleasure to see that people are coming across from across the country to participate in this course. And this is such a diverse group of people participating in this wonderful course and getting benefit from its contents. I hope the participants have enjoyed a lot during the course, because for the last 2 months, I think it was an online course, and because of its blended nature, I believe everybody was able to manage their time, because everyone, I believe, is working in some workspace with the government or with the other international organizations or somewhere. So the blended nature of the course allowed for better time management. I would say it was the best thing about it. The face-to-face workshop also made it possible to see the participants that we were seeing throughout the previous 2 months on board during the Zoom clinics. But we were unable to, interact with each other directly, like the interaction that we were given opportunity during this 1 week. So it was a really great learning opportunity for everyone. Post COVID-19, the interest level of governments and international communities have developed towards the social protection. As we see, every other program is now talking about social protection, which was an element that was missing from previously from discussions to a greater extent. But now it is almost part of each and every development sector program that we are talking about social protection so openly and so much about it. This post COVID-19 scenario that has developed this interest, I believe, is because every other country, like not just the developing countries, but even the developed countries have were able to taste the the state of being vulnerable. It reminds me of an example or an exercise that we were given during a training session back in 2018, when I was a part of an internship program at a disability organization. We were asked to cover our eyes and doing some kind of tasks that we were unable to do because we thought we are blind. And when we opened our eyes, we were able to then tell them that, yeah, what it is to be blind. And then also recently I was a part of a course, social protection course at Turin Academy, ITC. And there we were asked to write down some programs of social protection that we thought should be there in place in every country for the kind of social protection programs. I mean, the kind of social protection programs that we want to have in our countries, or we think are suitable to be placed in a country. And we wrote down a list of programs, but then we were put into a kind of scenario in which we were told that you are just think about, you are a person stricken with poverty, or maybe a disability, or we are a victim of some kind of disease or some accident or something. And then when we went through that scenario and thought about ourselves into that scenario, being victim of some disease or accident or something bad, kind of disaster or something. And then we were asked to again write down another list of programs on social protection. The list was a little bit different. So that is why I am mentioning it here. I want to make a point that when we participate in programs like this, the social protection programs, the training programs, although we on daily basis, we deal with the social protection themes and programs and everything, but we don't take it to our heart as much as if we consider ourselves part of this kind of programs, we would be thinking a little bit differently if we think about ourselves in place of those vulnerable people. So here I would cut short my my points, because CEO Saab has already said so much. I think he has almost covered all the about the content and about everything that is regarding the training program. I want to just thank and congratulate OPM and the Maheen especially for extending so much help and assistance during the whole program, and all other the resource persons, guest speakers, honorable guests from around the country, and all the participants for coming and joining us in this training. Thank you very much, Maheen and everybody out there for giving me this opportunity. And once again, congratulations. And thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So to reiterate, a social protection course for Pakistan would not have been possible without our key counterparts from Punjab, from KP, and also from the MOPAS, who, by virtue of being just a few minutes walk away, they have been joining us off and on for various sessions. And so it's been a very positive experience working with them on this as well. Also, the social protection course, or the last 2 months, would not have been possible without the team behind this course. And so I'll start off with STPI, Mr. Qasim Shah, Mr. Hassan, Rabia, Dr. Sajid, Dr. Fariha, Salahuddin, Hamza. Hamza has been very patient with us, particularly, and Manzoor Saab, and everyone else who's been there to support us throughout, and also Dr. Vakar for also being a part of the facilitators pool for this session. And having said that, I would like to now invite Dr. Vakar to say a few words. You will remember him from the active labor market policies sub-module. So over to you, sir.
Thank you, Maheen. It's such a pleasure to be here at the end of this course. And I recall very correctly having been in the same role actually at the start of the course. So let me start by thanking everyone here for their participation. And of course, on behalf of STPI, I'm very grateful to all the participating institutions, their teams, and I think as Ali Shahzad Saab said, one of the key aspects of such trainings is that they only become valuable if the departments actually relieve people for productive time to come together and sit together and exchange ideas. So certainly I join him in reiterating that point. And so I also, of course, thank our partners, German Cooperation, GIZ, OPM, and of course, our main leads from the governments. Ali Shahzad Saab is here, Ms. Fazilat, of course, is here. Mrs. Helen Post is here, of course, from the German embassy. I had a chance to be in some of the sessions, and I can say with certainty that we go back more educated collectively. And the sessions that I attended, at least, I had a chance to learn from most of you as much as I was able to extend from the experiences that we had on the subject. This course has touched upon and dived into some very important elements of social protections, legal policy and regulatory framework across the Federation. And that was the beauty of this course and the way it was designed. One of the social protection instruments on which I had the opportunity to deliver presentation and engage with you, as Maheen said, was the active labor market program and policies. And we saw that how effective use of such active labor market programs can actually ensure more sustainable job creation, which then also helps the exit and the graduation of beneficiaries, as we had studied. We also discussed implementation cycle of social protection in this course. And in this case, if there's any one key lesson, at least for me, after over a decade of Benazir Income Support Program, that is the effective use of data, digitalization, and technology, something which the past speakers have also acknowledged. And this combination, of course, of data, digitalization, technology not only helps to reduce the transactions cost of the government, ensures timely relief, as we have seen during times of COVID-19, as well as the disaster times, such as the recent floods. In the end, of course, I must say, as Martin Luther King said, that I have a dream. So the dream, of course, is about sustainability. And of course, Ms. Fazilat and Alisa have also stressed upon that. The colleagues from the government who came earlier have also stressed on how we can continue to keep this network of colleagues together to continue to exchange these ideas. And I think we at STPI would continue to engage with German cooperation, GIZ and OPM, as well as the participating institutes on something which is very important in our 2024 work plan, which is the integration of pensions program across the Federation in their social protection frameworks. And given that pensions across the federations are becoming unsustainable now, that is a request from the finance department as well, that how they can work together with the social welfare departments and help to integrate the overall pension framework, whatever it is in any of the province or at the federal level, with the underlying social protection frameworks here. So with this, I once again thank each and everyone who has just been named, won't repeat the names, each and everyone who has been part as a silent soldier, as a frontline soldier, and the resource persons who have participated. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Vakar. Moving on now to the OPM team. So obviously this would also not have been possible without the OPM team. And I would like to start off by acknowledging Tariq, who's been also very patient, and you will see a pattern that the pillars of patience are generally, our IT experts as well, but particularly Tariq for all his support and helping with all the Moodle optimization. Joanna, who's not with us today, but she's also behind the concept or just the design of this course in terms of blended learning. Where do we have our online modules? What do we do about, interaction and all of that? That's Joanna behind all of that. Esther Shuring, of course, who I'll invite in a few minutes to give you a little bit of a farewell, let's say, remarks. And also Afaq for being here, Nimra, Rashid Saab, and everyone who's been involved in making this week, and then also the 2 months behind this week possible. And also to speak a few words, I would like to now invite Rosa, who's our country director, to maybe share a few words about his observations.
Thank you, Mahin. I won't take long because Mahin strictly told me that I have only 3 minutes max. So, so I won't take long. So this is, finally the concluding ceremony. It's always great to be at the concluding ceremony because to reach to this point, you guys have worked so hard. So first of all, I would like to congratulate the participant, the trainer, the resource people who has made it possible. So congratulations. At OPM, social protection department of ours, social protection area is very important to us because we feel that social protection programs are an effective way to reduce poverty and create an impact, which is our goal. And social protection program needs to have a local context. So it's not a top-down one, but one needs to come up with a local context. And I know from my personal experience, because we've been interacting with BIS for such a long time, the capacity of social protection programs and the capacity, which is you guys, needs to be increased. And I recall from 2011 till now, BIS has come up a long way. And, the way people's minds have changed about like what a social protection program is and how can it change the lives of the people. And I would recall there's an anecdote, and then I'll conclude it. So once Sean, who is our social protection expert, we went to BISP, and I met a DG with a friend of mine, and he was telling Sean, do you think this meager amount of 6,000 is it going to change? And this is all farce. And he came out and he said, like, the DG doesn't believe in the whole thing. How can this work? But now we have come up a long way. Now, now I meet people, the politicians would say the same thing. There were so many people who would not believe that, a social protection program can help people. But now I think we have come up a long way. We are here. And, as Ali Shahzad Saab has said, the academic grounding is extremely important, because what you're doing is like doing day-to-day work, but what's the basis behind it? And that's something this course must have done to you. And it was great to see that there were participants from all over the country. There were all provinces represented, AJK, GB, and then again, I can see male and female representation both. So I think it's a great way that, this course has been designed. The other bit that, so there've been, an online courses, but it's great to have an in-person one, because unless you are in person, I think, the way while COVID has given leapfrogging in terms of internet, but I think the way in-person teaching occurs, it's amazing, it can't, an online one cannot be compared to an in-person one. And it's great to see, Mahin. I think Mahin has done a good job. Everybody's been praising Mahin. So, I'm proud to have Mahin in the OPM team, and, congratulations to all SDPI colleagues and thank you, last but not the least, thank you, JIG, for giving us this opportunity to work on social protection programs. Thank you.
Thank you. I would also like to acknowledge here Mustafa's just being there, and then also have for his vision throughout, the course, not just the implementation of the course, but then also in the lead up to the course, before the course as well, and generally throughout. So thank you, Mustafa, as well. Moving on then from, we've already mentioned two, let's say, entities without whom the course might not have been possible. And now I would also like to now acknowledge colleagues from GIZ, Laura, who's just going to receive our chief guest right now, Mohammed as well, Natasha, everyone in the back as well, Kesar Saab, Saman, Shaista, for just making sure that, things are running on time, and for generally being available, even on very short notices to give input. And you really helped make all of this possible. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Franz to say a few words before we move on to the next session.
Thanks. Well, I would like to first of all say I listened to everything that was said, and I would say from that point of view, I think that this course must have been everything that we were hoping for in German cooperation, because I've not heard any other type of ideas, vision. So it very much seems to have gotten us on the same page. And that's also where my what I want to say is, it's the cooperation itself. We call ourselves German cooperation, and even GIZ, which works for the German cooperation, which is represented here by Ms. Lena Paust. We have the name international cooperation in there. So there is no development in those two words. Yeah. So it's just cooperation. That's one thing that I think is very important in this. And so we are doing this as persons, as teams, etc. But we are doing this in the name of a cooperation between countries that has nothing to do with development, if not all development. So we're working on developments here that are all developments. Germany needs the developments that we're talking about as much as Pakistan does, and Germany cannot move on with its own development if it doesn't do it together with Pakistan. Yeah, that's the nature of the beast that we're looking at. So that's why I think this is great. I also heard sufficiently the need, the vision that cooperation is the basis for social protection. Yeah, it's a fundamentally social function, is to cooperate. And if one wants to help each other and be solidary, you have to cooperate. So that means that nobody can be a protagonist, nobody can be the social protector of the other. That's not possible. Yeah, you can be an agent of social protection, but you cannot be a social protector. Yeah, unless you're a king or Bill Gates or something like that, then this is not possible, and that's not a good role. So now I would like to say something else about the direction of this. Why cooperate on this? I read in the New York Times about a recent study with some modeling, which named the places on Earth where by the middle of this century, it's unlikely that people will be able to live there, healthy people, because of the heat, at least during the whole summer months. And one of those places was mentioned was Lahore. So if we believe in science, which I think we are well advised to do when we talk about adaptive social protection, then Lahore should be starting to do what is already being done in Indonesia, for example, where they're moving their capital, which is almost 20 million people, away from that place because it's too close to the waterline. Yeah. So that it sounds like this is not only the dimensions, but also the nature of the things that we talk about when we say adaptive social protection in Pakistan. Yeah. And so the rest, that these rains don't fall on the national borders, etc. That's, of course, I've already said it. Yeah, this should be seen as our all problem and not only of Pakistan, because Lahore happens to be in Pakistan. So that's the thing that we do beyond just the good old run-of-the-mill social protection, if that ever existed. Now, speaking of that, just very shortly, the run-of-the-mill social protection is not, in my view, this famous umbrella that you see, social protection, and then you see this umbrella, and then all the vulnerable people are under this umbrella because the rain falls. I think that is a very wrong image. It may have been applicable in some situations, but that's not what I think you should keep in mind as your symbol, because you always need somebody to hold the umbrella. You have to need somebody to produce the umbrella. And then if only one holds the umbrella and everybody huddles under it, where is the social solidarity? Yeah? There is no solidarity in there, none whatsoever. For me, it's social protection. It can be symbolized as a group of people, old and young, healthy and not so healthy, trying to cross a river and holding each other by the hand and crossing the river. Yeah, that might be a symbol for social protection that works. Yeah, and then we see who needs help and who can help. That depends on what the waters are like, etc. So that's the type of thing that I would give you. And I would then also say what I've already said on Monday. I think it's very important, and I hear that this idea is floating here very strongly. You have to work together. Whatever you do, you're agents of social protection, not providers of social protection. Even if your organization is called a provider, you're still only an agent, because whatever you're providing is somebody else has given this money and you just pass it on to somebody else. Yeah, so you're not a provider. The provider is the one who gave it. Yeah, that's the provider of the help. So you're all agents. Nobody can do it alone. You have to work together in your jobs. Your jobs are not yet routine. You're pioneers. You're agents of change. Yeah, so you're agents of social protection, but you're also agents of change. Keep it in mind. There are no prefixed systems that work. For Pakistan, you will always have to adapt your own systems as well. And you will, it is really important. I wanted to ask for it, but it has already been mentioned, to continue this. Please come to us. Please come to OPM, SDPI, come to the Ministry of Poverty Alleviation and Social Security, which is the #1 place for coordination in this country, in my view, or should be in the future. Not the only one. And let's see whether we can support the continuation of this in whatever form. Yeah, I think it's very important. If we don't do that, we may lose the investment that we have just done. It would be good. So that is really, so I from our cooperation with you guys, I would like to finish with this, to invite you to see this as the beginning of a cooperation where you all play an active role. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Franz. I would now like to officially welcome Dr. Amjad Saqib. So very nice to see you, who's the chairperson BISP. and he is our guest of honor as well. But before we move further, I would really now like to invite Dr. Esther Shuring, who is our team leader, and she is also the lead facilitator for this course. She's been with us all week in Pakistan, and she has been very, very hardworking, I must say, throughout the entire project period. And she's also been a guiding light for me personally. So without any further ado, Esther, over to you.
Thanks a lot, Maheen, and dear esteemed guests, and of course, most importantly, dear participants. Now it's actually my time to say thank you. Thanks a lot for your really active participation. I think all of the facilitators have agreed that you've been a really tremendous group. I mean, in terms of your engagement level throughout the course, also during the online part, which we all know is not easy. It's not easy to always stay engaged, in particular if you have also other commitments that are happening next to it. So thanks a lot. Thanks also for your really fantastic contributions in the forum, for your questions, for your interest, and also for the very active participation throughout the past week. I can only echo the sentiment. I have learned also quite a lot. So thanks for sharing also your personal stories, for giving us some insights into your challenges, also the type of work that you're engaged in. I think this has made it a really rich experience, also for me, I have to say. So I'm traveling back with lots of pleasant memories and also lots of inspiration for further work. So thank you for that. Now looking, well, thanks to you. So this has been quite a learning journey. I know we called it an introductory course, but I think we've covered quite a bit of ground if we look back to the past weeks. So we started off with some of the concepts around social protection, which we know sound easy, but are sometimes also not so easy to navigate. The definitions of social protection, the different building blocks of social protection, the concept of poverty and inequality. Then we talked about sort of how to argue for social protection, what could be some of the evidence we can actually use as munition to fight for social protection. We covered then some of the key social protection instruments in Module 2 in greater detail, talking about social transfers, social insurance, then active labor markets, policies, social services, but also subsidies, which are, again, also a key instrument, not in all countries, but also in the context of Pakistan. We didn't only talk about these different components, but we also looked at them critically, sort of which role they play in Pakistan and sort of what kind of changes we can make, which design parameters we can play with, so we can also make them work more effectively in the future. And then the next module, we looked at not only how they can be designed, but also how they can be implemented, going all the way from outreach activities to implementation and monitoring. And since we all know that social protection is not just about a single instrument and how to perfect the single instrument in isolation, we then looked this week actually how these different instruments, these tools that are available, how can they be effectively put together and work as a system. And for that, we talked about coordination, we talked about data integration, data management, and we also looked in the context of graduation, how these instruments can also be put together, combined, so that they provide sort of a path out of the system at some point. And then last but not least, we also learned that social protection systems need to be adaptive. They're never going to stay the same. There are new challenges arising. So we cannot just stop at the design and implementation phase, but we also need to make changes along the course, right? And for that, data, again, not only data management, but also data in terms of evaluation data, etc., is really important. So that's why we looked more closely into the indicators, the databases, also the evaluation results, etc. And so now here we are. So it's almost your graduation. So I hope you're actually graduating sustainably and not just across the threshold. And by that, I mean, I really hope that you can use some of the lessons that you learned during the course maybe that you take along some of the questions. I really hope that you still have questions and that you can then also use the tools that we taught, the network that you're now connected to answer those questions now, but also in the future. And I hope we left you with some inspiration, because we really need people like you who go back and really make social protection a reality, in particular now if we're looking at the poly crisis and all the challenges ahead. So once more, thanks a lot. I hope we can stay in touch, and all the best.
Thank you, Esther. I would now like to invite our first guest of honor, Mrs. Elena Paus, to share a few words. She's the first Secretary for Development Cooperation from Embassy of Germany.
So thank you very much. Distinguished guest of honor, Dr. Sakib, distinguished partners, dear colleagues from SDPI, OPM, and of course GIZ. But most importantly, dear participants from the second cohort of the first hybrid social protection course in Pakistan. I'm honored to be here, invited to your certificate distribution today, and the final day of your 2 months journey with the first hybrid social protection short course in Pakistan, specially designed for national practitioners here in Pakistan. I've learned a lot from your work, and I'm really sorry that I was not able to participate. It sounds very, very interesting. So next time I will be part of it, I'm pretty sure, if there is a next time. And as Franz mentioned already, Germany and Pakistan are already working as partners for decades already. And in this context, social protection has not always been a traditional area of the support to Pakistan by the German Development Corporation. But with time, I'm happy to share that our focus has shifted from just health support to a focus on social health protection. Through events such as COVID-19 pandemic, the devastating floods in 2021 triggered by the climate change, and the ongoing economic crisis with hyperinflation, it became even more evident that instruments of social protection catering the members of society who are in need of support are crucial for our fight against poverty and essential for the cohesion of the nation. Financial resources are limited everywhere, but what makes the difference between a good social protection system and a bad one? The people who are designing and running it. Human resources are the backbone of all institutions, forming the overall social protection system and strengthening of these in the first step to implement programs and reforms successfully. In line with these developments, the German Development Corporation has increased its portfolio of projects engaged in the area of social protection. The focus lies on supporting key ministry and entities in the developing in a national, integrated and adaptive social protection system. This course has already taken the first step in bringing practitioners from all over Pakistan together. It was heartwarming to see faces representing all these regions and provinces of Pakistan, and to have the leadership from such important institutions present, including Dr. Sabib, who has been instrumental in developing and implementing a very successful graduation initiative through the Akuvat Foundation. Thank you very much for this. We are very pleased to support the Federal Ministry of Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety and the provincial governments of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Punjab in implementing this social protection short course jointly with the German Development Cooperation Project, support to social protection, including social health protection. The ingredients of making this initiative a part of a Pakistan social protection landscape are all available now. What we have to do together as partners is to ensure we continue on this path of investing of human resources and building capacities in order to guarantee the best outcomes from the system. We want to applaud the efforts of the stakeholders to help achieving these milestones on the road to building a system. And we want to congratulate the participants of this course on successfully completing it and becoming the agents of change needed for reforms, as Franz mentioned already. This could not have been possible without the engagement and efforts of both the Sustainable Development Policy Institute and Oxford Policy Management. We thank once again our esteemed partners for their continuous support and collaboration and encourage them to sustain these efforts. But last but not least, I thank all the participants who made this course a success, and I wish you all the best for your future efforts. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Paus. And last but definitely not the least, I would like to invite Dr. Amjad Saqib to share a few closing remarks as well, as the guest of honor. And he's the chairperson BIS, and I think in all respects, truly a torchbearer when it comes to social protection or just the vision for social protection in the country. So Dr. Saqib, please. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much for kind introduction. Ms. Helen Fast, Ali Shahzad, Ms. Fazilat, Dr. Isher, Dr. Franz. I'm sorry if I'm not good in pronunciation. Ms. Laura, and my very dear friend of the Rauf Khan. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a great honor indeed to be invited for such a great gathering of people who are really here to serve Pakistan. So let me first appreciate GIZ, STPI, and OPM for their efforts and commitment. And I will seek your permission, Madam, to say, my heartfelt feelings to the audience in my own national language. And I will request my dear friend Rauf Khan later to translate, if possible, because I would like to speak my heart out to these wonderful people, because what you have been able to, educate them, that might be different, but I do feel. So, ख्वातीन हजरात, मैं बहुत मशकूर हूँ। यहाँ आने से पहले मैंने कहा कि मुझे पता तो होना चाहिए सोशल प्रोटेक्शन है क्या, या एक वेलफेयर स्टेट क्या होती है। तो मैंने जल्दी गूगल किया। ये आजकल एक खातून आपकी मदद के लिए तैयार रहती हैं। तो मुझे पता चला कि वेलफेयर स्टेट वो होती है जहाँ रियासत अपने बाशिंदों का या अपने सिटीजन्स की ज़िंदगी को आसान बनाती। गुर्बत, जहालत, तअस्सुब, घर नहीं, रोज़गार नहीं, साफ पानी नहीं, इज्जत, आबरू, इन सारी चीज़ों को यकीनी बनाना। एक ऐसी ज़िंदगी जिसका ख्वाब आप भी देखते हैं और मैं भी देखता हूँ। तो एक रफ़ाही रियासत का काम यही है कि उन तमाम अफराद जो ज़िंदगी में पीछे रह गए हैं, जिनकी ज़िंदगी में उम्मीद भी बाकी नहीं रही कि कभी कोई खूबसूरत दिन तुलू होगा। वो हबीब जालब ने कहा था कि वो जिसकी रोशनी कच्चे घरों तक भी पहुंचती है, न वो सूरज निकलता है, न अपने दिन बदलते हैं। तो ऐसे लोग जिनकी ज़िंदगी में सूरज तुलू नहीं होता, या रोशनी की कोई किरण आकर उनके बच्चे को ये पैगाम नहीं देती कि आओ मैं तुम्हें स्कूल ले चलूं। और फिर मैंने एक और बात कही कि गुर्बत की एक इंतहा ये है कि जब उम्मीद भी इंसान के पास न रहे। دولت کا نہ ہونا بھی غربت ہے، دوستوں کا نہ ہونا بھی غربت ہے، معاشرے میں کوئی سماجی حیثیت کا نہ ہونا بھی غربت ہے، روزگار، چھت، صحت کی سہولت، لیکن سب سے بڑی غربت امید کی غربت ہے۔ جب ہمارے پاس امید ہی نہیں ہے کہ یہ دن بدلیں گے اور ایک خوبصورت سورج طلوع ہوگا، تو دس از دی الٹیمیٹ۔ وہ کسی نے کہا کہ بڑھ گئی ہے نا امیدی اس قدر، آرزو کی آرزو ہونے لگی۔ تو وہ معاشرہ جس میں لوگوں کو آرزو بھی نہیں ہے، وہ معاشرہ کیسے زندہ رہ سکتا ہے؟ تو یہ ایک ویلفیئر اسٹیٹ کی بنیادی ذمہ داری ہے، اور سوشل پروٹیکشن اسی کا آؤٹ کم ہے کہ سماجی تحفظ ہم کیسے کرتے ہیں۔ کسی کو گلے لگانا، کسی کا ہاتھ تھامنا، کسی کو راستہ دکھانا، کسی کے راستے میں پڑی ہوئی رکاوٹ دور کرنا۔ اب یہ کام کیا ریاست کے ہیں صرف؟ جب ہم ریاست کی بات کرتے ہیں تو صرف حکومت کی بات نہیں کرتے، ریاست میں بھی شامل ہوں، آپ بھی شامل ہیں، یہ پورا معاشرہ شامل ہے۔ تو اس حوالے سے سوشل پروٹیکشن یا سماجی تحفظ کا جو تصور ہے وہ فرد سے شروع ہوتا ہے، وہ مجھ سے شروع ہوتا ہے۔ کیا میرا ہمسایہ بھوکا ہے؟ کیا میرے ملازم کا بچہ اسکول جاتا ہے؟ جب تک میں فرد کی حیثیت سے اپنی ذمہ داری محسوس نہیں کروں گا کہ اس ریاست نے یا ریاست کو بھول جائیں، خدا نے مجھے اتنا کچھ دیا، تو کیا یہ میرا حق تھا یا مجھ پر یہ کسی کی انعام یا عطا تھی؟ اور یہاں سے انفرادی ذمہ داری کا احساس اجاگر ہوتا ہے کہ اگر مجھے یہ سب کچھ ملا میرے حق نہ ہونے کے باوجود، کسی کا انعام اور کسی کی عطا، تو پھر میں دوسروں کے لیے کیا سوچتا ہوں؟ اور یہیں سے یہ احساس جنم لیتا ہے کہ ایک روز مجھ سے بھی پوچھا جائے گا کہ تمہیں جو کچھ ملا اس کا کسی اور کو حصہ ملا یا نہیں ملا۔ وہ لمحہ دور نہیں ہے۔ تو اس وقت ہمارے دامن میں کوئی ایسا پھول ہوگا کہ ہم اس ہستی کو پیش کر سکیں کہ ہاں یہ میرا فرض تھا اور میں نے لوگوں کی خوشیوں کے لیے یہ کام کیا۔ فرد سے معاشرہ تشکیل پاتا ہے، پھر معاشرے کی ذمہ داری ہے، کمیونٹی۔ ایک محلے میں 1000 گھر ہیں، 200 غریب ہیں، تو کیا 1000 میں سے جو 800 جو غریب نہیں ہیں ان 200 کا خیال کرتے ہیں؟ وہی ساری باتیں، تعلیم، روزگار، صحت، صاف پانی، عزت، آبرو، پھر اس کو پھیلائیں تو پھر ریاست بھی آ جاتی ہے کہ بہت سے وسائل ریاست کے پاس ہیں۔ تو اسٹیٹ از ریسپانسبل ٹو انشور all social, political, economic justice to its subjects۔ تو ہم پھر ریاست کو بھی تنقید کی نگاہ سے دیکھیں کہ وہ کیا کر رہی ہے، اس کے پیسے کہاں جا رہے ہیں۔ سوشل پروٹیکشن جو ہے یہ صرف ایک احساس نہیں ہے، یہ ایک عملی قدم بھی تو ہے نا۔ ہم صبح سے شام تک حکومت کے ایوانوں میں دیکھ لیں، پارلیمنٹ کے ایوانوں میں دیکھ لیں، کرسی عدالت سے دیکھ لیں، منبر و محراب کو دیکھ لیں، ہر آدمی یہی کہتا ہے کہ غربت ختم کرو، مہنگائی ختم کرو، غریب کے بچے کو اسکول کا موقع دو، روزگار کی سہولت مہیا کرو۔ تو کیا یہ محض باتیں ہیں، یا ہم اپنے احساس سے جرم کو ختم کرنے کے لیے بار بار یہ چیزیں دہراتے ہیں؟ مجھے یقین ہے کہ جو آپ نے پڑھا اس دنوں میں اس میں یہی چیزیں زیر بحث آئی ہوں گی کہ ان کی اہمیت کیا ہے اور کس کس سطح پر کس کس کو کیا کیا ذمہ داری عطا کرنی ہے۔ اور آپ چونکہ امپلیمنٹر ہیں، آپ پالیسی میکرز بھی ہیں اور امپلیمنٹر بھی ہیں، کیونکہ ایک سول سرونٹ کی ذمہ داری 2 طرح کی ہوتی ہے۔ ایک تو وہ پالیسی بنانے میں پولیٹیکل لیڈرشپ کی مدد دیتا ہے، اور پھر جب پالیسی بن جاتی ہے تو اس کو امپلیمنٹ کرنے کی ذمہ داری بھی اس کے توانا کندھوں پہ آ جاتی ہے۔ تو اس لحاظ سے یہ ساری کی ساری باتیں جو آپ نے سیکھی ہیں, جو میں نے تھوڑی بہت دہرائی ہیں, تو اس خواب کی تعبیر تو آپ کی بدولت ہی ہوگی. اور مجھے یقین ہے کہ آپ نے یہاں پر بیٹھ کر تفکر اور تدبر سے بھی کام لیا ہوگا, کیونکہ جو بات دل سے نکلتی ہے وہ اثر کرتی ہے. تو جو باتیں کہی گئیں آپ نے ان کے بارے میں سوچا تو ضرور ہوگا کہ کیا یہ درست ہے, اور اس سارے گورکھ دھندے میں میرا کیا کردار ہے ایز بحیثیت فرد کے اور بحیثیت سرکاری ملازم کے. اور یقیناً آپ کو ایک طاقت اور توانائی ملی ہوگی, ایک مستقبل کا خاکہ آپ کے سامنے ہوگا کہ آپ نے کیا کرنا ہے. یقیناً آپ فیلڈ میں جاتے ہوں گے, دور دراز دیہاتوں میں, خستہ حال بستیوں میں, اور لوگوں کو دیکھتے ہوں گے. تو میں سمجھتا ہوں کہ نہ جانے اس پورے کورس میں کتنی دفعہ آپ کو راجن پور میں یا شہداد کوٹ میں یا ڈیرہ بگٹی میں لے جانے کا موقع ملا. وہ بھی شاید اس کا حصہ ہونا چاہیے کہ ہم عملی طور پر, میں آپ کو ایک کہانی چھوٹی سی سناتا ہوں. سیلاب کے دنوں میں کو 70-80 جگہوں پہ گیا ہوں, اور سیلاب میں ڈوبتے ہوئے لوگوں کو میں نے دیکھا. ان کی جو ذہنی کیفیت تھی میں وہ بیان نہیں کر سکتا. یہ تمام تر سماجی تحفظ کے جو تصورات تھے ٹوٹ گئے جب میں نے ان عورتوں کو دیکھا. میں کچھ اور سوچتا تھا لیکن حقیقت تو کچھ اور تھی. میں ایک گاؤں میں گیا راجن پور کے پاس, تو بہت سی عورتیں کھڑی ہوئی تھیں, وہ بستی ڈوب گئی تھی پانی میں. میں نے اس عورت سے پوچھا کہ بہن کیا ہوا؟ اس نے کہا کچھ بھی نہیں, یہ سامنے ایک میدان ہے, اس میں میرا بچہ کھیل رہا تھا بہت سے دوستوں کے ساتھ. اچانک بارش ہوئی اور یہ کوہ سلیمان کے پہاڑ ہیں, یہاں سے پانی کا ریلا آیا اور وہ سارے ڈوب گئے. لیکن مجھے پتا ہے کہ چند دنوں بعد یہ پانی چلا جائے گا اور وہ میرا بچہ ہنستا کھیلتا ہوا پھر سے میری آغوش میں آ جائے گا. اب میں اسے کیسے بتاتا کہ اب وہ لوٹ کے نہیں آئے گا. یہ تجربے یہاں شاید نہ ہو سکیں. ان تجربوں سے گزرنا ہے تو جانا پڑے گا ان کے پاس. محبت کو سمجھنا ہے تو ناز سے خود محبت کر, کنارے سے کبھی اندازہ طوفان نہیں ہوتا. تو سماجی تحفظ کو اگر واقعی سمجھنا ہے نا, تو ہمیں اس عورت کے پاس جانا پڑے گا جس کے دل پہ اس کے بیٹے کا نقش ہمیشہ زندہ رہے. باقی آپ دانا ہیں, فہم و فراست کے مالک ہیں, آپ نے بہت کچھ سیکھا, بہت کچھ پہلے سے آپ جانتے ہیں. لیکن مسئلہ یہ ہے کہ ہر چارہ گر کو چارہ گری سے گریز تھا, ورنہ جو اپنے دکھ تھے بہت لادوا نہ تھے. یہ دکھ جو ہے لادوا نہیں ہے, چارہ گر کو چارہ گری سے گریز ہے. تو میں صرف یہ کچھ باتیں باغیانہ سے انداز میں کر رہا ہوں, آپ کو شاید اچھی نہیں لگیں گی, رؤوف خان کو تو بالکل اچھی نہیں لگیں گی. لیکن میں یہ چاہتا ہوں کہ ہم دل کھول کے بات کریں کہ سوشل پروٹیکشن بہت ہی اہم ترین موضوع. اب میں ایک اور چھوٹی سی آپ کو کہانی سنا دیتا ہوں. چند دن ہوئے میں بے نظیر انکم سپورٹ پروگرام میں مجھے یہ ایک ذمہ داری دی گئی. اب میرا یقین کیجئے کہ پچھلے 20-25 برس سے ایسے ہی لوگوں سے کام کرتے ہیں, لیکن یہاں آ کے میرے کچھ تصورات اور بدل گئے. یعنی عام طور پر کہتے ہیں جی کہ یہ تو آپ بھیک دے رہے ہیں, 4-5 ہزار روپے دے رہے ہیں, آپ نے تو ان کو کچھ کول پکڑ کے مانگنا سکھا دیا. یہ عام طور پر تاثر ہے, لیکن یہاں آ کے یہ تاثر بدلنا شروع ہوا. میں نوشہرہ گیا, قصور گیا, لاہور گیا, کئی جگہوں پہ میں چند دنوں میں گھوما. میں نے ان عورتوں کو جب وہ 10,000 یا 15,000 روپے گنتی ہیں نا, جب وہ جو پیسے ملتے ہیں, تو ان کے چہرے پہ جو میں نے مسکراہٹ دیکھی میں آپ کو وہ بیان نہیں کر سکتا. ایک عورت سے میں نے پوچھا یہ اس سے پیسوں سے کیا کرے گی؟ وہ کہتی ہے کہ سب سے پہلے میں جا کے میٹھے چاول पकाऊंगी और अपने बेटे को दूँ। फिर एक औरत ने कहा कि जब ये पैसे मिलते हैं तो हमारे बच्चों को ये एहसास होता है कि अगला 1 या 2 महीने में हर रोज खाना मिलेगा, यानी हम मुतबादल एक दिन छोड़ के खाना खाते हैं। अब वो 25-30, ये जो 5,000 में जिंदा नहीं है वो घराना, ये जो 5,000 महीने का मिल रहा है, वो पहले से 25-30 हजार रुपये कमाते हैं। कोई साइकिल पंक्चर लगाता है, किसी का बेटा रेडी लगाता है, कोई कपास चुनती है औरत, कोई मासी और आया बन के बर्तन मांजती, 25-30 हजार कमाती है। ये 5,000 तो इमदादी सपोर्ट है। मेरा अगर कोई गरीब रिश्तेदार हो, मेरे कोई बहन भाई जो 30,000 रुपये कमाता हो, मैं उसे कहूँगा ये लो बहन 5,000 रुपये, तुम्हारा बच्चा स्कूल जाना चाहिए, और वो स्कूल जाने लग पड़ता है। तो उसने उस 5,000 की वजह से 30,000 का काम तो नहीं छोड़ दिया। तो क्या ये 5,000 भीख है? ये तो मेरा इजहार मोहब्बत है, ये तो मेरी जिम्मेदारी है। मुझे कहा गया है कि जो जरूरत से ज्यादा है वो दे दो। तो Pakistan is the biggest welfare state in the world. Nobody realizes this. We are supporting 10 million families, which becomes 60 million people. Approximately, there are 6 members in a family. So this Benazir income support program is providing conditional and unconditional cash support to 10 million families, 9.3 to be very specific. Please allow me to say that we say that Sweden, Denmark, Norway, they are all welfare states. But what is the population of Sweden? 5 million. And maybe they are supporting 100,000 or 200,000 families. But with meager resources, with all poverty, this poor state is serving 10 million families. No doubt, it's a very meager amount, but this is a great step towards becoming a welfare state. In a country where tax to GDP ratio is only 8 to 9%, even despite this, we are extending help of mutual support, hand of mutual support, with compassion, with all love, with all care. We're just trying to assure those poorest of the poor that in this struggle against poverty, you are not alone. We are standing as a community, as a society with you. Our support is too small, but this is the reflection of how we think about you. We believe your children should go to school. You should have medicine. So this, I specifically spoke in English so that I want to, clarify that Benazir Support Program is not promoting beggary or charity. And we are grateful to all our partners who are supporting based in education and helping the pregnant women. Around 1 million pregnant women are getting support, and that is ultimately avoiding stunting. So 8 million students, 8 million in a country where 20 million are out of school, 8 million students are going to school on this scholarship, and 9.3 million women are getting stipend. So, और क्या है? What else is social security? तो इसमें हमें बहुत कुछ करने की जरूरत है। ये जो 10 मिलियन लोग हैं जिनको हुकूमत सपोर्ट कर रही है, उनको 10 मिलियन पाकिस्तानी सपोर्ट क्यों नहीं करते? जो टॉप के लोग हैं, जिनको कुदरत ने बहुत कुछ दे रखा है, जिसमें आप भी हैं, मैं भी हूं, हम अगर एक शख्स को अपना लें, ये मवाक़ात है जो अखुवत के हवाले से हम इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं। हम कहते हैं एक शख्स जो हैव है एक शख्स को जो हैव नॉट है अपना दोस्त बना ले। तो पाकिस्तान में अगर 50% हैव्स हैं और 50% हैव नॉट्स हैं, इनके दरमियान ये रिश्ता बन जाए, एक शख्स को कहे कि तुम्हारे दुख मेरे, मेरी खुशियां तुम्हारी, तो वी कैन बिल्ड अ बेटर सोसाइटी। तो सोशल प्रोटेक्शन को आई डोंट सी with the perspective of state responsibility. I see is as a duty of an individual. It's an obligation of a society. So we should all, I think that instead of shifting the burden on state, we should ourselves realize that what we are doing. तो मैं मशकूर हूँ रऊफ खान साहब आपका और एवरीबॉडी कि खुगरे हमसे थोड़ा सा गिला भी सुन ले, तो सब कुछ रियासत के ऊपर ना छोड़ें, हम खुद भी तो देखें, क्योंकि हमने भी किसी रोज जाकर किसी के रूबरू पेश होकर अपने अमल का हिसाब देना है। वो इकबाल ने कहा कि रोज़े हिसाब पेश हो जब मेरा दफ्तर अमल, आप भी शर्मसार हो मुझको भी शर्मसार कर। तो उस लम्हे की शर्मसारी से बचने का नाम ही सोशल प्रोटेक्शन है। उस लम्हे से की शर्मसारी से बचने का नाम ही किसी महरूम, बेनवा, बेकस, मजबूर औरत की मदद है, किसी यतीम की मदद है। दुख की बात है कि 2 करोड़ बच्चा स्कूल नहीं जाता। ये एक सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है हमारे लिए। तो बहुत सी अच्छी बातें आपने सीखी होंगी, मैं कोर्स मटेरियल लूंगा और आई विल आल्सो लाइक टू नो कि क्या क्या कुछ पढ़ाया। तो विश यू बेस्ट ऑफ लक। और मैं ये पैगाम मेरा सिर्फ यही है कि आप यहाँ से जाते हुए कुछ दर्दमंदी से ये ज़रूर सोचिएगा कि हम कैसे उस औरत को जो हवास बाख्ता होकर कहती है कि मेरा बच्चा वापस लौटेगा, उसको कैसे उसकी मदद कर सकते हैं, कैसे एक ऐसा खूबसूरत मुआशरा तश्कील दे सकते हैं जिसमें हर शख्स को इज्जत और एहतराम से जिंदा रहने का मौका मिल सके। सो यू आर chosen people. Let me, assure you that you are chosen people. God has chosen you and sent you in this room, and He has said that go, learn what is social protection. How can you help the poor? So you are a chosen people. Now then, who has chosen you has the right to ask you as well that what message you learned and how did you implement that. Thank you very much, sir, and I wish you best of luck. तो आप कभी बिस्क में आए, आप कभी अखुवत में आए। अखुवत इज़ यू, आप लोगों की एक अदारा है जिसमें हमने 40 लाख ख़ानदानों के साथ यही मोहब्बत का इजहार किया। बिस्क में वी प्रोवाइड सपोर्ट, बट इन अखुवत वी प्रोवाइड इंटरेस्ट फ्री लोन। तो एक तरह की एक कंटिन्यूएशन है, ये कंटिन्यूम है, ये एक एग्जिट स्ट्रेटजी है। पहले आप कुछ लोगों को अपने पाँव पे खड़ा होने के लिए तैयार करते हैं, फिर उन्हें कहते हैं कि आज के बाद से तुमने लेने वाला नहीं देने वाला बनना है। So this is a natural continuation के step by step how can we build a beautiful society. चलें तो कट ही जाएगा सफ़र, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता मिलेगी उसके चेहरे की सहर, आहिस्ता आहिस्ता। Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Amjad Saqib. I'm sure we are all taking away very, very key points for reflection throughout the weekend. I know that I will be reflecting upon everything that Dr. Amjad Saqib has said today over the next few days at least, and over the course of my career too, I hope. Moving on to certificates, I hope everyone is ready for the certificates. We will invite our guests of honor to please join us in front of the table so we can start handing out the certificates, and I'll request my colleagues to just.
اچھا پارٹیسپینٹس ہم 2-3 نام جلدی جلدی لے لیں گے اور آپ رائٹ سائڈ سے آئیں گے اور وہاں کیو میں ویٹ کر لیں گے تاکہ 1 بائی 1 ایک ایک بندہ آ کے اپنا سرٹیفکیٹ ریسیو کرے اور اس کی اچھی سی تصویر بن جائے. ٹو میک اٹ مور میموریبل وی نیڈ یور کوآپریشن. تھینک یو.
احمد وسیم قریشی صاحب. ادھر سے کوئی hand up. یہاں پہ علی احمد صاحب. علی شہزاد صاحب. وہ تو اور ہے وہ نہیں وہ ادھر کھڑے ہیں. آمنہ دورانی. علی شہزاد. آمنہ دورانی. ڈاکٹر اویس قاضی. فریال امین. ڈاکٹر ادریس احمد. حضرت بلال. اجاز محمد خان. جمیل آفریدی صاحب. جنید احتشام صاحب. خالد مجید صاحب. خالد محمود انجم. ڈاکٹر خان محمد. ڈاکٹر لطف الرحمان. راجہ مسرور حسن صاحب. ڈاکٹر مہوش عادل. سعید خان عباسی. معاوض ملک صاحب. محمد مبارک. محمد آصف. محمد عمر جاوید. نبیلہ رانا. ندیم میر بہار صاحب. نسرین اختر. ڈاکٹر نثار خان. قاسم ظفر صاحب. رضوانہ بشیر. Salman Rafi. Sana Bibi. Shadia Begum. Shafqatur Rahman Sab. Shaista Akhlaq. نہیں ہے اچھا یہ صبغت اللہ. سید محمد رضا شمسی. تیمور خان. طارق عامر. تہمینہ گلزار. عمر شیخ. محمد اعظم. And then finally, Ali Shehzad Saab. And finally, Ma'am Fazilat Jahan. Ma'am Fazilat Jahan. وہ ہم دے دیں گے. All done? All done? Okay. So now I'll request our guests if you can keep standing there, and we'll invite other participants to assemble over here so we can take a group photo.
Participants are invited to come forward for a group picture once again.
I think we'll just have to arrange in like a big semicircle, yes.
جی جی میں لگوا دیتا ہوں. ایکسکیوز می اسٹاف اگر ہیلپ کر سکے تو ایک ایک.
جی. I think that's also fine. We'll have the standee on the side.
One's in front. You want the chief? جس نے کرسی پہ بیٹھنا ہے وہ اپنی کرسی لے
पार्टिसिपेंट्स कोई पिक्चर से बाहर नहीं है तो जल्दी से आ जाएं ग्रुप पिक्चर में। मैं तो आ जाऊंगा। I did one.
Okay.
कासिम साहब, मुस्तफा साहब, आप भी आ जाएं प्लीज। कासिम साहब, मुस्तफा साहब, एडजस्ट योरसेल्फ। थैंक यू जी, थैंक यू एवरीबॉडी।
Thank you so much. This marks the end of our program, but please do join us for tea. It's in the next room as always. And thank you so much, everyone.